This is the Razer Cobra, one of the latest gaming mouse from Razer. And this is the Razer Viper Mini, a gaming mouse that was released 3 years ago. They're pretty much the same, eh? Well, at least for some of its features. With that being said, let's find out what are the similarities and differences of the Razer Cobra and the Viper Mini. Let's start with the most obvious one, which is the weight. Both are advertised as a lightweight gaming mouse. The Razer Viper Mini weighs 61 grams without the cable, while the Razer Cobra weighs 57 to 58 grams without its cable too. A difference of 3 grams is insignificant to be honest, and it's unnoticeable when you try to switch between the Razer Viper Mini and the Cobra. However, according to some fellow content creators, the weight of the Razer Cobra varies. There are some who were able to get a 55-gram Razer Cobra. I don't know why this happens, maybe the weighing scale we use or there are differences between regional releases. To me, 55 to 58 grams is good enough, whether you're using it in gaming or in any productivity tasks. How about the dimensions? Are there any differences? Just like the weight, the dimensions of the Razer Cobra is pretty much the same as the Razer Viper Mini. If you look on elo shapes, the length and height are almost the same. However, on the actual, the Viper Mini feels a tad taller than the Cobra. Hence, it's much more comfortable doing the claw grip when I'm using the former compared to the latter. Again, for reference, my hand size is 18.5 cm. When I'm using the Cobra, I'm comfortable using the palm and fingertip grip styles. Now let's talk about Razer Cobra's optical sensor. According to the specification sheet, it has 8500 dpi with 35G acceleration and 300 IPS. If you compare it to Razer Viper Mini, there are no differences. The Viper Mini has a Pixar 3359 sensor which I think is almost the same with the Razer Cobra. However, the length of distance of Razer Cobra is lower compared to Razer Viper Mini. As you can see here, the mouse pointer of Razer Viper Mini responds as normal when we test its sensor using 2 compact discs. On the other hand, Razer Cobra's mouse pointer is unresponsive. I guess Razer addressed the concern most people are posting online about Razer Viper Mini before. If we check on Reddit, people are complaining about how high the LOD of the Viper Mini is. Some people did a workaround just to solve this LOD issue of the Viper Mini. Now in Razer Cobra, they have solved this by lowering the LOD of the said gaming mouse. With that being said, I think Razer did implement a different sensor. If you're a Razer Viper Mini fan, I think you'll love the Razer Cobra because of this improvement. In terms of the switches, both gaming mice are using Razer's optical mouse switches. Now if we compare them, the Razer Viper Mini has the 50 million click variant while Razer Cobra has the Gen 3 version with 90 million clicks. The clicking experience is different when you switch between the two gaming mice. The Viper Mini has softer clicks than the Razer Cobra, but for me, the tactility of the Razer Cobra is better compared to the Viper Mini. I like the feel even if it has harder clicks. By the way, here's a quick sound test of the clickers. As for the side buttons, I have no information on what switches were used, but most probably it's the same with mouse 1 and mouse 2. And just like the main clickers, the tactility is different. Razer Cobra has harder clicks than the Viper Mini. So far in Razer Cobra, I did not experience pre and post travel. All of the edges of the main clickers are responsive even if you click the part near the body. Now in regard to the DPI button placement in Cobra, it's between mouse 1 and 2, which is the same with the Viper Mini. However, there are some adjustments on the increments of the DPI. You can now set the DPI increments by 50 in Razer Synapse. We'll take a look at this later when we tackle the software of both gaming mice. Going to Razer Synapse, there's nothing much of a difference for both gaming mice. You can adjust the usuals like the DPI, lighting, and the button functionalities. The only difference that I see software-wise are the values you can set in the DPI increments. Like I said earlier, in Razer Cobra, you can now adjust the increments by 50. In Viper Mini, the allowable increments are by hundreds. I know this is trivial, but let's talk about the coating of both gaming mice. The Razer Cobra and Viper Mini have the same type of coating. It's matte black with semi-rough surface. I love this type of coating to be honest. It doesn't acquire smudges from oily or sweaty fingers. Also, it helps us to use the mouse without adding any grip tapes. So I guess we can now move forward and discuss the mouse gates of both gaming mice. In Viper Mini, Razer used 100% PTFE mouse skates. These types of skates glide smoothly even if your mousepad has slightly rough surface. However, the Razer Viper Mini has mouse feet installed only at the upper and lower part of the mouse. There's no mouse skate surrounding the sensor, which slightly reduces the smoothness when gliding it. Meanwhile, the Razer Cobra has the same material used in its mouse feet, but Razer added additional mouse skates surrounding the sensor. Having this additional mouse skate makes the Razer Cobra a tad smoother than the Razer Viper Mini. Both gaming mice are using Razer SpeedFlex cable. To me, the cable softness on both gaming mice are just the same, and I think they're pretty much okay. I think cable-wise, there are no visible improvements, but the overall cable performance is fine, and so far, I have no complaints about it. To me, Razer Cobra is clearly an improvement of the Razer Viper Mini. Yes, the size and dimensions are pretty much the same, but the technicalities are different. Moreover, Razer was able to address the LOD issue that most gamers are complaining about. Also, they made the gliding experience much better by adding the additional mouse skate surrounding the optical sensor. Clicking experience-wise, to me, it's an improvement too even if the Razer Cobra has harder clicks. In addition, there are no issues encountered during my testing. Like I said earlier, there's no pre and post travel. Sensor-wise, the gaming mouse did not jitter and spin out in my almost 3 weeks of testing. Also, there are no creaking and flexing sounds. So I guess the Razer Cobra is quite a robust gaming mouse. However, I think it's not worth the upgrade if you're coming from the Viper Mini. At its price range, 2,590 pesos, you can get decent wireless gaming mice with Pixar 3395 optical sensor. This optical sensor is the latest from Pixar, and there are a lot of improvements from previous optical mouse sensors. Aside from that, the 2,590 pesos price for me is quite expensive. There are decent wired gaming mice below this price point. Also, if you save your money, you can get flagship releases above 3,000 pesos. Most of these gaming mice have already proven that they are worth it. To be honest, I'm not impressed with the Razer Cobra even if there are improvements when comparing it to Viper Mini. Actually, I was hoping that the improvements are way better, but it's not. If I have 2,590 pesos on hand, I'll check other brands first before I look into this gaming mouse. Again, I will iterate it. There are better options at its price point. So yeah, better check out other gaming mice first before you upgrade your Razer Viper Mini or if you're targeting the Razer Cobra. And that's it guys, we have reached the end part now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Till our next, goodbye.